Okay, guys, it has been a while since we have had a video for Conference Monday. But today I am going to be completing the front side of these notes with you in this video, and then you are going to be tasked with completing the back and an exit ticket. If you have any questions or concerns, please just raise your hand to let me know. Okay? So last week we worked on combining like terms, and we did a note sheet that looks very similar to this one, where it was a three-step equation. We had to combine our like terms that are on the same side and then complete the last two steps for solving the equation. Today we're adding a fourth step in there, and we have to distribute and then combine like terms and then solve. So we see parentheses and a -3 on the outside with nothing in between. That means that we have to distribute this -3 into the parentheses. So one of the first things that we have to do in simplifying this side is to distribute. So we need to distribute -3 to x, which is -3x. Then -3 times -1, -3 times -1 is +3. So negative times a negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 1 is 3. And then our +9 comes down. Equals 15. Now this side over here, on this side of the equal sign, is still not simplified because we have two like terms here, 3 and 9. So my -3x is just going to stay the same, but 3 plus 9 simplifies to 12. So I want to add 12. So all I did here was combine these to become the 12 here. I forgot to write my steps on the side. Oh my goodness. Okay, so step 1 was to distribute. -3. Step 2, we combined our like terms 3 and 9. This should be an and sign. Okay, and now we have a normal two-step equation. So our goal is to isolate this x. We have -3x plus 12 equals 15. This is a normal two-step. So to isolate, I need to remove my 12 from the side with the x first. I have to get rid of this 12 first. So the inverse of +12 is -12. So I'm subtracting 12 from both sides. Subtract 12 from both sides. And what that does, the -3x comes down. 12 minus 12 is 0, so they just cancel out. And then 15 minus 12 is 3. So I have -3x equals 3. My last step is to divide -3 from both sides. When I divide -3 from both sides, I end up with x equals -1. So now let's put this into our equation and check. So my original equation was -3 x minus 1 plus 9 equals 15. So where I see an x, I'm just going to put -1 in there. So -3, then -1 minus 1 plus 9 equals 15. So I just replaced my x with the -1. And now all I do is solve this side to see if it equals 15. If this side equals 15, then our x is in fact -1. So order of operations, PEMDAS tells me parentheses first. So -1 minus 1 is -2. Then multiply -3 times -2, and negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 times 2 is 6, so that's 6 plus 9 equals 15, and 6 plus 9 is 15, so 15 does in fact equal 15. This is my answer. Okay, moving down to our second problem. So again, I have parentheses here. I want to distribute. I need to simplify that. The whole idea of us distributing and combining like terms is we want to simplify this side of the equation. So if I'm simplifying, I can simplify by distributing and by combining like terms. So I do want to distribute first because you'll see I have like terms inside the parentheses, but I can't combine them until after I distribute. So I'm going to use my funky arrows to distribute in. But again, think about that subtraction sign as a negative. This -2 means that it's a -2. So I have to do -2 times W and then -2 times -4 because that minus is also a negative. So my 10 comes down. -2 times W is -2W. And then -2 times -4, and negative times negative is a positive, so that's +8, and then equals 12. So my first step was to distribute -2. And we'll just say into the parentheses because I have that extra line. Okay, so our next step is going to be to combine our 10 and our 8. So we have two whole numbers here, two terms that do not have a W, so we can combine them. And it's not going to be 10 minus 8 because this minus goes with the 2W. It's going to be 10 plus 8. So that's going to give us 18 minus 2W equals 12. And if you don't like it written like this, if you prefer your variable in front, you can just swap the placement of this minus 2W, the -2, and the 18, and just switch their placements like this. Okay, as long as they are on the same side of the equal sign, you can rearrange them. And you just have to, again, make sure that you keep the minus with that, like as the negative number. So our step 2 is to combine like terms. And we combined 10 and 8. And now we're down to just a normal two-step equation. -2W plus 18 equals 12. So I need to get rid of this 18 first in order to isolate the W. So I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. Subtract 18 from both sides. My -2W is going to come down. 18 minus 18 cancels out because they equal 0. And then we have 12 minus 18. So this is when our integer rules come in. 12 minus 18. We can't do 18 minus 12 and keep it positive. We can, because the larger number is second. So it's 12 minus 18. So when we subtract these two, it's going to stay negative. So 18 minus 12 is 6. So it's going to be a -6 because our larger number came second. So now we have -2W equals -6. Our last step is to divide by -2 to get that W by itself. We are isolating this W. And the opposite of multiplication, our inverse is to divide. -2 divided by -2 is 1. So I'm left with 1W, -6 divided by -6, and divided by -2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we've got +3. In our last step here, we divided -2 on both sides. Okay, and we are going to check. So we're going to put 3 into our original equation. So let's write this original equation exactly as it was given to us. So 10 minus 2, and then parentheses, we had W minus 4, close parentheses, equals 12. So let's rewrite it again, but with 3 in for W. So 10 minus 2, and then in parentheses, 3 minus 4 equals 12. 10 minus 2, and then we have to solve our parentheses because we're just solving this side now to see if it equals 12. So inside of parentheses, 3 minus 4. Again, our larger number is second, so when we subtract them, it's going to be negative. 4 minus 3 is 1, and it's going to be a -1. Now we want to multiply. So we can do this 2 different ways. You can do -2 times -1, which would change this to a 10 plus 2. Or if you just ignore the subtraction sign for a second, 2 times -1 is -2, and that would then be 10 minus -2, which subtracting a negative number becomes plus a positive. So either way, you're going to get 10 plus 2 equals 12. And 10 plus 2 is 12, so 12 equals 12 is correct. So a lot of this unit is, yes, knowing the steps, but when you do all of these steps and then you also check all of your work, you have to make sure you're paying attention to those negative signs and your integer rules. Because it's easy to make a mistake here, and it's easy to make a mistake here if you don't know your rules when dealing with negative numbers. Okay, so go ahead and work on 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you show your work and check your answers. Show your work and check your answers. Okay. Um, so I am going to give you the answers, but I'm not going to do all of the work or the checking. So I'm going to give you the answers just so you can like make sure that you did everything correctly. And if you lose my train of thought. If you get a different answer than what I did, then go back, check your work, do this check if you didn't do it the first time, and see where you made a mistake. Okay. So this first one, K equals -1. And I'm also known to make mistakes sometimes. So if I make a mistake with any of these, please let me know. Okay, so for this one here, this should be X equals 7. And then with this one here, it should be M equals, I'm doing this in my head, should be 8. M equals 8. Hold on, let me double check that one. See, even your math teacher needs to check her work to make sure that she's doing everything correctly. I am not. I made a mistake somewhere with that one. I might have to do this one with you guys because I made a mistake somewhere and I don't know where my mistake is. Or I didn't make a mistake and I just didn't finish checking it, but no, that's not right. Okay, I'm gonna do this one with you guys. You guys can check my work. Hopefully you guys have it correct and I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so our first step is to distribute. I'm distributing this -2 into the parentheses. So -2 goes to the 2m and -2 goes to the 6. So I get 9m and then I get, this would be -2 times 2m would be -4m. -2 times 6 would be -12. Equals 28. I need to combine my like terms. 9m minus 4m should be 5m. Minus 12 equals 28. Then I want to add 12 to both sides. -12 plus 12 cancels out, leaving me with 5m on this side. 28 plus 12 is 40. I found my mistake. And then divide 5 on both sides, and m does equal 8. M does equal 8. I was correct. First time I made my mistake when I checked my work. So that's also something that can happen with checking. So when I needed to check my work, and this is why it's okay to use a calculator in this unit. If you don't have a calculator in front of you right now, grab a calculator. I should have just used a calculator when I was doing this in my head. So I want to put 8 in for m. So this is 9 times 8. And then minus 2. 2 times 8 plus 6 equals 28. I made my mistake here because I knew it was 5m here. So when I did 9 times 8, I accidentally did 45 and did 9 times 5 instead of 9 times 8. So that's why you want to make sure that you're writing down all of your steps and not making those mistakes. So 9 times 8 is 72. Minus 2 inside my parentheses. I have 2 times 8 is 16 plus 6 equals 28. Then 72 minus 2 in my parentheses, 16 plus 6 is 22 equals 28. And then I have multiplication, so 72 minus 2 times 22 is 44. And 72 minus 44 does equal 28. So this is a correct answer. So you guys got all of the work for 9, which was the more difficult one. And you guys got to see me make my mistake and work my way through it. So that's why it's really good to do this and check, and you'll be able to find mistakes in either way. Wherever you made your mistake, you'll be able to find it and fix it. And the reason why I made my mistake with checking was because I didn't write everything down. So please make sure you're writing everything down. Don't try to do all this stuff in your head because you guys are just learning it. And even me as your math teacher makes mistakes doing it in your head. So write down all of your steps for both solving it and checking it. Okay, I want you guys to now work on the back. There are 8 problems on the back here. Work your way through them slowly. Don't rush through them. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Bye, guys.